I think it's
spice a little bit up. Yeah,
that's absolutely fantastic. TusiN had a really good game on Bard. They didn't win, but TusiN was still pretty good, and Bard Ezreal I rate as a pretty good lane. In fact, the only lane that Ezreal has won so far in summer has been with Bard. As TusiN's thinking about going back to an old favorite. We saw Effort popping off on the Rakan last night. And TusiN's considering it for the moment, and we'll have an idea as to what Smeb's going to be playing. It looks like Wukong's being considered.
I like this, though.
But they know that Rascal's very happy just to play Malphite. But maybe what they think is that they have Trundle, and they can make Malphite less relevant by taking away his defensive stats.
I mean, I don't want to let my top laner to play Malphite against Azir, especially, though.
Oh, that's true.
So
it's not exactly like the Aphelios pick type situation.
So I think this is really smart choice by KT, and also it's Lulu Azir bot lane, by the way.
Oh my goodness, it's been a while.
It feels like
we're
going back to the old days, you know?
Yeah, man.
Old players and old picks.
Yeah.
But Lulu right now considered as really great support as well to just have some late game team fights, and it's still Malphite going on the Gen.G side. But yeah, I mean, those kind of drafts are just so normal and nothing too special to talk about, but I'm just not sure about that Ezreal and Lulu combo on the bot side.
I'm also not sure about first picking Ezreal when Aphelios is open.
Yeah, that's what I mean, you know?
Yeah.
Like, everyone was just like wondering about why Ezreal is so bad in LCK. And my answer was just simple, that Aphelios is just maybe way too easy to pop off with it, you know? Like Azir really needs to just 1v9 and shift in and shift out, but Aphelios just needs to click one button and just win the team fight, you know?
That's exactly right. Actually, LS and I recorded the POG State earlier on this morning.
Yeah.
And we had a big discussion about the Ezreal versus Aphelios situation and what the issues are as we have a look at the starting lineups or the champions that are going to be employed here in today's first game. But Ellis had some really interesting points. I mean, Ezreal, it's understandable that he'd be first pick because he's way more flexible within the draft, right?
Yeah.
But what a lot of our LCK teams are doing are playing sort of right into it. Right into the Aphelios type style, right? And they're just bringing teamfight versus...
just go 5v5 for the late game.
Yeah, and if you 5v5 for the late game front to back with Ezreal instead of Aphelios, like, you're just inherently at a disadvantage. We saw the Aphelios get dismantled by a T1 that decided to split push against it. That's one of the strategies. There are multiple strategies you can actually do to make him not work out necessarily as well. And we'll see whether KT is going to be able to make that one work, because they do have a decent split pushing composition themselves. Defensive nature of the Lulu is actually pretty good for peel and disengage with the wild growth as well as the glitter lance for the CC. And Smeb and Kuro will be pretty slippery in side lanes.
I mean, it's already looking great with the Wukong-Lulu combination when it comes to teamfight, you know?
That's a lot of knockups.
Yeah, and I don't think Aphelios can dodge that. And especially when you have support Bard. Bard is actually not that great peeling support. So maybe they just consider the teamfight combination more than their bot lane synergy. So yeah, as you mentioned, Ezreal is always flexible, so he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the support mostly. So
yeah, and is pretty comfortable just self-peeling. I think that Lulu's actually... She works differently than she does in a lot of other comps in this comp. I think she's used to augment Smeb's dive in a lot of ways, right? Because you can get the Cyclone for the knock-up, you layer it with another one, you layer it with the second Cyclone.
Yeah.
And Rascal's sitting there going, well, I've only got one knock-up in an AoE. Dang it, I'm Malphite. I'm supposed to be the best diving into the backline. And of course he is, but Nimbus Strike Cyclone actually does basically what an Unstoppable Force does as well.
Yeah, I mean, the point of this game is all about Kuro plays, like how he plays about the early game, you know? Because he's playing TF, so if he goes just 5-5, just farming during the whole early game, then I don't think the pick that he just did in the blue side, it doesn't matter, you know? Then he should just pick other champions like Corki just to farm, you know?
Yeah.
So I think he should just farm the champions instead of the creeps.
We'll see whether he's going to take a leaf out of that book. As we check out the mid lane, Kuro up against B2D here. It's an old matchup.
Yeah.
I'm remembering back to Afrika versus Kingzone times, where those two teams are actually performing very well. I believe this was many years ago now. But certainly some opportunities there as we welcome Smeb back to the top lane and observe him winning a trade. All of that solo queue in spring working out as bonO's going to find BDD. Red buff is active. Flash is going to be traded, and in goes Kuro to be delivered first blood, although he decides not to take it, and Kuro's just going to munch on the Chicken Man. Really nicely done to get first blood so early for KT.
It feels like deja vu, you know? Like always when Azir is playing against Trundle, they get early ganks and get one-shot by Trundle flashing in, you know?
Yeah.
I saw this like last time too, at level 2, so I think this is already great news. I already said that TF really needs to just walk around all around the map, so this is already helping TF and helping KT in general.
This is also Kuro's TF, and he's been playing this champion for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
Very good at the TF as far as augmenting the rest of his team on the Rocks Tigers. It was like the Kuro and Peanut show at a lot of times, so interested to see what he's going to be able to do now with his added lead. bonO perfectly puts the Rift Scotland next to the wall. Kellin could have almost stolen that one away. So Clid's going to make his way in. bonO is very hungry, so decides to eat himself some Bard, but is going to be able to make it out of there. Of course, with the little scuttle surface, he's feeling okay. It's Kuro. No flash, remember, so Clid's going to come on down as Rascal's looking for a solo kill onto Smeb. Smeb gets the cannon creep, and so he's going to be A-OK. Doesn't want to take the next wagon wheel, though. That's going to be him dead. But eats through his biscuits.
Lead is coming.
He's going to be all right. Whoa, that's a big teleport.
TP's coming too.
All right, decoy comes down. Rascal desperately wanting to just take one with him, but you're right, Clid is on his way in. Rascal just going to flash out of the way. And Kuro comes up. Oh no, the face check. Smeb immediately flashes. But there it is. Rascal just claps in. bonO's going to make his way in. Remember, he doesn't have flash either as Kuro is going to be able to lock down that kill. It's looking to be a decent trade as the pillar is fantastic, but Kuro, no flash, can't get back over that wall, and it's a 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, it was a great TP try by Kuro too, but yeah, I mean, Smeb eventually just fade checked and got one shot, so it was just 1-for-1 trade. I mean, this was just way more impactful on the mid lane, so
yeah.
We're gonna see it again. How strong is PTA Trundle?
Pretty good. And we've seen a lot of phase rush, actually, so it's cool seeing the PTA.
Oh, it was all planned. That's what he said.
I like it. I like the confidence. Kuro finds a very fast gold card. Unfortunately, not quite fast enough there as Rascal sets it up, and it was all a little bit too easy. I believe they knew that Clid was in the area. A little bit disappointing.
Yeah, that was lack of focus, I guess. But anyways, that was 1-for-1 trade. So I'm not sure who's gonna be more happier about this situation, but I'm pretty sure that it's still really great to see bonO is popping off for the early game for KT right now. And
oh wow,
yeah, they're talking about their duo again. It's not translated for the English viewers, right?
Has it been 1,339 days since they played together?
Yeah.
Back in 2016 Worlds? That is super cool.
Okay, so they won 2 LCK no, actually. They runner-up 2 LCK Spring Split and runner-up Wars 2, and they won Summer Split LCK. And the last game they did was SKT. It was versus SKT. Like,
that's actually really cool.
That's so old, actually.
That's a very long time ago, and that was also such a famous matchup, right? Like, SKT versus Rocks was the big one. LCK final, Worlds final, like, really, really cool stuff. It's one for the ages, but they're not playing here. It's Gen.G this time around as Smeb is looking to get solo killed again. That wagon wheel comes in and Rascal just kills him. This is a pretty good matchup for the old Malphite, but also one that Smeb probably should be playing a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time we can see Wukong versus Malphite matchup, by the way. It happened at LJL and also Challengers Korea.
I mean, Rascal literally played this matchup.
Yeah, I mean,
in this last series.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is this is the only one player who plays Malphite actually good.
Yeah.
And result is also really great, you know? Like, all the Malphites were just falling down because like they were not good enough Malphite. But Rascal is actually just stone itself, you know, it feels like.
He's real good.
Yeah.
And he's now winning by 20 CS. This is absolutely a blowout. As Smeb, you know, he still needs to get the cobwebs out. It's been a while since he's been on a stage like this. He's getting used to it.
Yeah.
And we'll see whether we're going to see the team fight, Smeb, because right now the lane is over. It's done. As there's an ulti into the mid lane. Kuro does have his flashback available, but I don't know whether he even has an opportunity to use it, and he doesn't. VDD sends the Sand Soldiers forth and will take down Gambit in the mid lane. That's
just
a
got it back
X-Men
when
joke.
he died, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not looking so hot after a decent first blood from KT. Gen.G are finding everything as here's the solo kill.
Oh. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Don't need to translate that one.
Yeah. Harder, harder. That's what he said.
Oh my god. Well, Kuro could have flashed. Decided not to. And dies for it.
Yeah, I mean, that was like...
Oh, in the meantime, aiming is suffering from the year's disease. Kuro's going to come down, but not... Oh, very close. TusiN does survive in the end. Kuro decides that he's not actually able to take down Ruler with his, Severum Crescendum combo. bonO's down there. He also does not want to attempt anything. Smeb's going to spot as, oh, maybe we're going to get a bit of a face check here as Kellin. See whether he finds the Cosmic Binding. He doesn't. And it's going to send Aphelios to the Death Chamber. bonO very happy to go on a magical journey. He says, thanks very much, Kellin. One more auto is going to do it. And wasn't necessary to flash there whatsoever, but he did it anyway in celebration.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Gen.G, they did really great job on the bot side. Or for like, it was 2v3 in fact, but after that they just face checked. So like, while Clid was getting handled on the top side, I mean, if they didn't face check there, it was really great news for Gen.G. But
oh yeah,
at the end, Ruler died, so it was kind of trade. But Clid is still looking for top side.
Oh no, there's an ult available, and we don't even know whether Smeb has his decoy available just yet. There it is. Unstoppable Force comes down. Collateral damage is in there, but Smeb has survived. The Cyclone did about nothing, and there's the Emperor's Divide. bonO should be taken down here as Clid is right on top of him. Wild Growth comes through from TusiN, though, and he will find the Glitter Lance to slow down Clid. Completely out of mana as aiming turns up from the bottom side. All of these shields and heals are working out for TusiN's Lulu, who just comes to save the day. It's very TusiN of him.
Yeah.
You know, always saving his team.
Smeb still died there, but anyways, bonO didn't die. If bonO died there, it was disaster, but man, this is fine still. Ruler is trying to say that, oh yeah, we are fine because I'm just getting all the golds on the bot side. But anyways, aiming got the kill back, so, and bonO is still not died, got cut, so he was still getting solo kills on 2v2 on the bot side, shifting in.
The most aiming thing I have ever seen. Oh, that is just perfect. Absolutely amazing. Oh my god.
I mean, that was really great Q flash by Kellin, though. That was like instant reaction. And yeah, after that, they got double killed. And yeah, I saw that he really needed to flash in there because he didn't have a red buff. So
yeah, I don't know what it was, but he didn't actually auto, so he took damage from something. So this was Smeb flashing over, but Rascal also flashes, so that's why the Cyclone didn't do anything. Not a bad play there from Smeb to make sure that they also got Rascal's flash. It was a decent turnaround here afterwards.
Yeah, so in general, KT is doing something, and Gen.G is like, they're winning topside, right? And they tried to got some bot lane, and they actually got the bot tower too.
Yeah, wow.
So it felt like KT was controlling the game, but slowly, like, no, we're not. It's fine. Gen.G is just farming top lane, and yeah, Smeb is definitely struggling.
And like I was saying, Kuro pretty good at Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah, it's okay. 100% win rate. I think maybe even our friend LS might be impressed by that one. 7.2 KDA though, not quite enough. But I will see whether it's going to be his first loss on the champion or whether Kuro is going to continue. Oh my goodness.
We're lost whole games.
It's the Graves going down the Lee Sin path.
Oh yeah.
And it's not the path you want to be trekking.
Lee Sin is still struggling though.
Oh he is, yeah.
Yeah, so
he won one game.
That's
here
true.
in the LCK, one.
but it seems like all the aggressive junglers are not working out in LCK. I mean, there is so many picks that, especially in LCK, it's not popping off, but like LPR or the other regions are doing great on those champions like Graves, Lee Sin, Leona on the bot lane, and Renekton and Syndra. Like all those champions are not popping off in LCK, and I was like looking for the reason, and yeah, they're looking for the TF again.
Yeah, they're not going to find him. BDD is just going to get stunned up, and Kuro outplays him completely. It was really nicely done. I say outplayed, I mean he moved slightly to the right.
Yeah.
Or to the left, depending on what your perspective is. So yeah, not bad. BDD might need to tighten that one up just a little bit.
Yeah, BDD's Azir is one of a kind, you know. He's always looking for like insects, like those kind of super plays, and that's why always Korean casters are just really hyped for BDD's Azir, you know?
Yeah, just waiting for it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 30 seconds until the plate's taken down. KT are getting to work on the top outer turret. Rascal's there, does have Unstoppable Force available, but not sure whether he's going to be able to use it effectively here against the 4 members, as Kuro's going to face check Clid, but he's not taking too much damage. This Rod of Ages is doing work for Kuro, keeping him alive. Wildcards come down, more plates being consumed by the Aphelios, and I think if you're a KT fan, you understand that that is definitely more than bad news.
Yeah, I mean, KT, they didn't get tower yet, by the way, and KT is the one have TF, and I never seen like TF is like using ultimate to get caught on side lanes. Those kind of plays is all about like BDD is trying to get TF, you know. So I feel like bonO is ahead, but it's like by himself, not with like TF and mid jungle synergy, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like KT is using TF well enough, but also I would say it's because of the top lane balance right now, because it's completely destroyed and Smeb is just getting tumbled by Rascal. So
yeah, that's 30 CS, the lead here at the moment for the Malphite, who's building towards his Frozen Heart. Things are just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
For the Wukong, who's just not going to be able to touch this Malphite whatsoever.
Yeah, so who's gonna kill Malphite, by the way? They have TF on the mid lane, which is not great tank killer. And
I mean, they have Subjugate, right? So they do still have Trundle. Theoretically, Trundle is a decent answer to a tank. Whether he's going to be enough of an answer against this level of gigantic tank, I'm not entirely sure. As Kuro, he's going to flash out of the Tempered Fate. And Kellin's just going to take a free summon spell for his ultimate.
Yeah. Yeah, if KT really want to win this game, then they just need to have one moment to have team fight with Trundle using ulti on the Malphite too, and this is the moment that they are looking for.
Yep, that's what they're going to go for, as bonO puts down the pillar. Unstoppable Force, used to get out, and Rascal holds onto his flash, so no worries. Smeb didn't have to invest his, neither did bonO. So we're doing okay. In fact, the ultimate not even necessary out of the Trundle either. Rascal just ults away a little bit too early. And Smeb's going to grab some turret gold as Ruler finds himself aiming. And surely is going to bear down on this outer turret in the mid lane. That's going to go down. It's a trade for the outer on the bottom side. Amy should be able to get rid of Shirley before she does any more damage. 2,000 gold approximately is the lead here for Gen.G. As Kuro's just going to say thanks for the leash and gives him a good old thumbs up. As Clid and BDD walk away a little bit shamefully.
Yeah, he's old player, so he's using old emotes, you know?
Yeah, perfect. I like it. The OG.
Yeah, but anyways, the idea behind with the KT team composition is all about the team fight. And that's the reason why they picked up Wukong and Lulu, you know? For now, you can just say that, because they just really messed up on the lane, in the laning phase. So yeah, they still have team fight chance, and they're not losing Drake stats or like anything, so they are still looking for the team fight. And Aiming also got his 2 items.
Yeah, Aiming's really strong. And Kuro is pretty close to collecting his Lich Bane as well, as Gen.G do start off this Drake. This might be the opportunity that KT are looking for. It is a good ward.
Smeb is looking for it,
though, as True Shot Barrage is going to land onto Kellin and BDD. speaking of it, he is going to get himself out of the way as another unstoppable force has to be used defensively, but it buys them enough time to grab this Drake. Now bonO gets sped up with the Whimsy, but they are unable to get on top of Gen.G, and they'll just walk away with a free Mountain Drake. And KT going to feel a little bit silly. Oh
man, KT, they would feel really bad here because they lost Drake and they got nothing. I mean, they got top tower, but it doesn't matter at this point when Gen.G is already ahead in 3 towers. And yeah, Gen.G is just slowly controlling the game. And I mean, they said they're gonna copy and try to learn from LPL style, but it feels like more they are just looking for the old playstyle, just going for the late game.
Yeah, and Gen.G are going to group up as bonO avoids that Tempered Fate very nicely. Kuro also gets himself out of that one, but has to flash again. And it's going to be bad news. Not a lot of flash gold cards available. And yeah, look, I think it's good to be inspired by other regions. Blindly doing so is not necessarily the greatest. You got to find out what works best for you.
Yeah.
It looks like Gen.G currently making this one work against the very powerful Twisted Fate. You have to remember that this mid lane, if BDD is able to win out, then that is actually huge just because of how powerful Twisted Fate has been currently in summer.
Yeah. And yeah, Gen.G is like, they got back to their just old playstyle, you know, just be hard and just straight to all the objectives, you know. They never give up and they just slowly getting all the farms, and eventually they're gonna take the fight. But they just need to farm for 30 minutes, you know.
Yeah, and what I want to see, right? Because now we're in a situation where KT also on the back foot, but what is this veteran status of Smeb and Kuro going to offer the team? Because they could theoretically utilize the fact that these are older players that have had all of the pressure on them throughout the years with their time on various teams. As I'm going to have to hold the thought for a moment. TusiN has to flash to get himself out of this one. Wild Growth utilized as Kellin has to flash out of a Mystic Shot. As aiming was untouched, now Clid finds himself in the middle of a rock and a hard place. As he does get out. Holds onto his flash, in fact, as the quick draw was all he really needed. Rascal once again can't quite find his way in.
Yeah, Gen.G is trying to get some older controls. That was kind of LPL-ish playstyle on the mid lane. Just tunnel into the mid lane. But it didn't work out, and aiming is slowly just getting some control with Ezreal.
And I'm actually enjoying watching aiming play this one out as Kuro sidesteps the Tempered Fate. Boots of Swiftness and the Lichbane is good as aiming. Great finger work there, making sure he gets the Arcane Shift out. And there's a good pillar as Rascal should be going down here. There we go, aiming, locks down that kill, but Ruler is looking for bonO. He's frontlining as this one. And in goes the Cyclone. Smeb actually gets a good flank, but the Magical Journey is going to be enough to get them out of there. Smeb still hunting as aiming is doing the same. And KT, there is still some fight left in him.
Yeah. Both AD carries are just trying to 1v9 the fight, and the one who was smiling was aiming. He was just kiting all the time, and even though TusiN died, he did his job, you know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And after Malphite flashing in and ultimate, he got nothing, so easily kiting. That was great reaction by aiming too.
Yep, and it doesn't really matter because Lulu's ultimate was already on cooldown anyway, so wasn't actually going to be offered to this fight. The Smeb gets in for a decent flank position, but you can see just how valuable the Bard is. But still, I mean, a team fight, if it goes that way, you're going to be feeling okay about it, as we've got Flash traded there. Kuro this time is going to get out of the way of BDD's ultimate by the looks of things, and keeps himself alive.
BDDs just keep forcing Kuro's flash and like just be really annoying to Kuro right now. And because of that, I feel like Kuro is not in this game. Like he was not making any plays by himself.
Hasn't been able to, yeah.
Yeah, and he's the only one like aiming, and those tools like junglers and support, TusiN and bonO is just trying to have support on Azir to make him carry on this game. But it feels like it's really hard, you know, for now, because also Gen.G has carry. like Azir and Aphelios. So.
Oh yeah, they are set moving towards the late game, as Destiny has to be used just to make sure that Gen.G aren't taking a Baron. Wildcard's not going to find anything either, as now KT milling about in the mid lane. Smeb's moving on over from bot. That minion wave is going to die. Calibran does some work, but the shields coming out from TusiN are working. And he has that Ardent Sensor buffing up aiming. Kuro also benefits a lot from the Ardent Sensor as well. Likes to auto-attack and things like that. As another True Shot Barrage is going to spot that Gen.G were lying in wait, as bonO gets caught out with the Tempered Fate. All 4 members on top of him. Down to half health, Wild Growth comes out, and he will survive. Doesn't even use the Subjugate, as Rascal was out of vision and out of range. But looks like with the chunk onto the jungler, Gen.G are going to start off this Baron. Flash available still from the Trundle, as well as Rascal getting taken down relatively low. The Baron still at 4,500 health. And Gen.G are going to back away, not wanting to risk it.
Riddler got chunked a lot, so...
They lost a lot from that, did Gen.G. KT could actually get a gold lead if Kuro is actually able to take down this turret. And remember, this is Twisted Fate. He does a lot of turret damage.
Yeah, and also eventually KT is getting Drake as well. That was maybe unnecessary natural try on that point, because all 5 members are still alive, and as you mentioned it, bonO didn't use ultimate there, so they could still fight.
Yeah.
Nashor Pit, so that's
he also still had flash, so could get over the wall, so that was definitely a 50-50 at best. And the Drakes are evened out as well. I think you're exactly right there, as Gen.G a little bit optimistic with the attempt on the Baron, and maybe thought that they were further ahead than they actually are, because they're not. Like, looking at the goal, it's 1,000. At 24 minutes, that means nothing.
And also, it feels like Ezreal and Lulu is slowly popping off, and yeah, I mean, those pokes are slowly getting really hard on the Gen.G side, because all the champions are squishy except Malphite, you know. So if you get one hit by aiming at this point, then you will get chunked really hard.
Yeah, and he's going to go back and finish Death Dance very, very soon. And it's going to make it even more difficult to try and take him down.
The point is, can they actually reach to aiming or no? Like, that's all, you know?
I mean, it's aiming. Like, his job as Ezreal is to not be reached.
Yeah.
I think that, like, actually he should be fine.
I mean, they have a lot of tools, Gen.G, like Power Ultimate, Azir, and also Malphite. And they have damage too, but it's all about Ezreal, so... And Azir is so annoying for now because of Deathlands and Iceborne Gauntlet, so... It's aiming versus Gen.G.
And of course, aiming is Arcane shifting forward. Beautiful. Gold card's going to land onto Rascal. They're looking to try and stop the engage possibility. The Sundisk goes up. And Gen.G, they desperately want a Baron. All they want in life is a Baron. And going to get demolished. A little bit unfair. But a passive can be taken down by a rune. But Clid probably going to get himself into this pit. As KT had that very cute ward, you can see just, actually in a control ward in the pit right now, as Gen.G know exactly what's going on. Aiming, Arcane Shift, gets himself out of the Tempered Fate, as Ruler has a lot of chakrams built up. There is a lot of damage available as Kellin gets tagged by so many Mystic Shots. This is what happens when the Qs keep landing.
Yeah.
And it's not what we saw as, my god, that gold card did about 1 trillion damage there to Clid. As aiming, of course, is dashing over the wall, flashes forward, Arcane Shift not available, and he's not going to be able to find Clid. So right as I big up aiming, he's going to fall down as Kellin just one auto attack, and aiming should be able to take him as True Shot Barrage wasn't able to get rid of Clid. But Gen.G are on the run, and KT are bearing down on them. TusiN, not a lot of mana, but not a lot of health on Gen.G, as the Sand Soldiers will chunk down bonO, but he is going to survive for the moment. No one died, in fact, but KT, I think, won that.
Yeah, and KT's like, as I mentioned it, it's all about Gen.G versus aiming, and aiming feels like he's really free. He's shifting in all the time, and no one could even touch him. And I don't know why Clid was positioning here, because he can literally assassinate no one with this Grace at this point. So
I don't know where that Q was planning on going from aiming, but it's okay. It's neither here nor there. He's showing that the Ezreal is definitely working out, even if the aim was a bit off towards the back, as Ruler has to use everything. But it's a really, really nice magical journey to get him out.
So yeah, the point is still same. it's all about aiming, and he has those kind of, I would say, disgusting items, you know? Ice Gauntlet with Death Stand, and also Stopwatch too.
Yeah, it's bad news. Although, Ruler is getting towards his Death Stance as well. He's got his QSS done. As now Rascal will find bonO. TusiN's going to dive on over though, just to save his jungler. As our Subjugate was used, so now Gen.G with a slight opportunity as they as KT waits for that ult to be back available again. But Frozen Heart was completed. There's a lot of, oh my god, aiming. He's already chunked Rascal to a 3rd health just by himself.
So he's melting Malphite without
any tank busting items.
Exactly.
Oh my god. That's scary.
I was underrating aiming's Ezreal.
He is very good at the Ezreal, and especially his aggressive style. Like, we always knew aiming as the guy that like would only arcane shift forward and most of the time die for it. But now he's arcane shifting forward, and there's whimsy on him. There's giant shields coming through from TusiN, and there's the rest of his team peeling, and it's working out as yeah, that's a kill delivered over, and that's the jungler as well. So some opportunities here for KT to try and grab Mountain Drake in 5 seconds, or even the Baron. The Sun Disc is up, but that is not something that KT really cares about, and all 5 will move over to this Mountain Drake. Should be able to take that one down and threaten Soul Point. And with all of the vision that KT already had on this Baron area, Gen.G aren't going to be able to answer by getting any control back in that spot. So it looks like Gen.G are playing super far behind right now.
Yeah.
Even though the gold is incredibly even, they have Aphelios moving into the late game, they have an Azir, they have extra turrets they can put up. But still feels like KT are well and truly in control.
Yeah.
Off the back of Kuro and aiming.
I mean, target Graves. Look at Graves aiming. We got Graves. Yeah. He's like planning God, you know?
Yep.
So his TF is finally working out.
But this is exactly what TF is really good at, right?
Yeah.
He is like the Kuro champion. Yeah. Because Kuro is, like you say, you know, he's the ringleader. He's the guy that keeps everyone together. That was always his job. On the Rocks Tigers, I think a lot of people were underrating Kuro because he's not a flashy player.
Yeah.
Because they had Smeb, they had Peanut. I mean, they even had Prey, who was making some sick plays, you know, that famous Ash arrow, things like that. Like, they already had like 3 chefs in that kitchen. They did not need one coming out of the mid lane.
Yeah.
As Kuro's job was definitely a lot more facilitative, and it's showing right here, 1-1 and 5. The scoreline is perfect.
But anyways, for Gen.G side, when Gen.G was struggling and when they couldn't end up the game with the Nashor play, it was always Clid or Ruler getting cut. Like, it was always starting from that. And also, I just want to call that red side a Raptor zone to just Clid zone. I feel like Clid is getting cut so many times at that point, and yeah, I mean, it needed to be really, really stopped at this point.
Yeah.
Gen.G is the team who is looking for walls and just top teams, not like just, oh yeah, we are happy with the rank 5 in LCK or something, you know?
No.
They are considered as top teams in world, and yeah, they should really stop this kind of like silly mistakes like we can maybe see it from the like bottom tier teams, you know?
Exactly. And they have the winning formula. They have Aphelios into Ezreal. And from what we saw, no matter who was piloting it, apart from Deft that one time, this is a winning matchup. But now, KT are demonstrating to us exactly why Ezreal was picked so many times blind into this matchup. And I think that the Twisted Fate certainly does help out. As when T1 played it, the Twisted Fate victory against the Aphelios, it was with a Kalista on the bottom side of the map. It works relatively similarly, as our self-peel options are certainly there for Kalista as well. So
they keep showing Smeb and Rascal's stats, you know, to make Smeb looks really bad.
Triple the damage. But the gold is like almost even.
Oh man.
Because the CS
it doesn't matter,
all the way back up. Yeah, it is.
I mean, I think LCK broadcasting teams are just way too harsh on Smeb, you know.
Yeah. The poor guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he did get solo killed by a rock.
I mean, the good thing is, you know, in the skirmishes and team fight, he's keep forcing Ruler's QSS and Flash, so it doesn't matter, you know.
He's doing his job.
He's doing great.
Yeah.
He's doing his job. So.
And what was Smeb known for? Flank teleports. That's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
he can do. That's what he can do. Did he do that? Yes.
For
I
sure.
think, a couple of times. As Tempered Fate going to land once again onto bonO. Not exactly the target that they want, as aiming is just raining hell down on the members of Gen.G. Rascal desperately just wants to find something that he can do. As Destiny was used, that's going to mean that Gen.G are going to move straight towards this Baron. Oh, there's that cute little ward. Lasted almost its full duration. Beautiful stuff. As the teleport comes through from Kuro, True Shot Barrage will tag a couple and spot that this Baron's going down extremely fast. This is just snuff. Magical Journey's going to be there, and goodbye. Gen.G are out of there with a free purple buff on their behind.
This is Bard's threat. We saw so many times with Bard when they have Bard, and especially when they have Aphelios and Azir, they can for sure one-shot the Nasher. And Gen.G
so
knew it.
fast.
Yeah, Gen.G knew it, and finally they got Nasher before Clid or Ruler getting caught.
And also, they needed to do it right now because they'll have enough time to get back to this Mountain Drake, which is soul point for KT. So 25 seconds. It will mean that this Baron power play is not going to be as huge because, of course, they will have to siege this Mountain Drake unless they just decide to go for some inhibitors instead. You can see split push from Kuro on the bottom side as he switched to the Ignite after utilizing his teleport. Inner turret goes down for free. But it looks like Kuro's just going to be able to solo out this Mountain Drake by himself. And KT are just going to buy some time, as you can see. Clid getting taken down relatively low. True Shot Barrage softens up the 280 carries. And Kuro decided not to start off this Mountain Drake, but just an inner turret. Felt like that was controlled relatively well from Gen.G. Aiming. Might need to be a little bit careful, but I do like the aggression. As BDD shifts himself over to take down this blue buff, and KT get full control of the river. And are they just... Gen.G going to concede Mountain Soul? Possibly, as aiming still. He has an itchy trigger finger, but look at that. It's Mountain Soul for free.
Yeah, and by the way, this is Mountain Drake for tank Ezreal.
Yeah,
who has Ice-Bomb Gauntlet and Death Dance.
Does he have more defensive stats than Malphite now? Maybe. That's a triple stack of Mountain Drakes.
Yeah, and Mountain Drake Soul as well.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt that he's going to just shift in all the time. Maybe
he's going to shift in right now.
Yeah, and
there we go. Hello. All right. Oh, that was bonO's fault, by the way. Yeah, you can just tank the turret.
Yeah.
Maybe he just doesn't know. He needs to do some limit testing. Aiming is a great limit tester. He loves that. So we need to see more of it as Rascal. He's still not feeling like he's under too much threat, as two of them are backing here in this. Why don't they just kill him? All right, they want to go back and make sure that their base doesn't die.
Yeah.
That does make some sense. Still
it's Gen.G who has Nasher buff, so it's still Gen.G controlling the map around. But yeah, they didn't get inhibitor yet with the Nasher buff at minute 35. So it feels like slowly KT again, who is getting like team fight favor. And yeah, it's obviously Mountain Drake Soul is gonna help a lot on KT side at this point.
And this inner turret's gonna go down, so that is 6 turrets already taken. A large portion of the gold advantage, 5,000 in the lead here for Gen.G as it currently stands, is to do with turret gold, a couple of them in the lead. But also, they've been picking up a little bit more farm in these side lanes, as you can see. About 50 in the lead for BDD. And still in touching distance
200 armor, by the way.
200 armor. Okay. That's it's not bad.
205.
205 armor Ezreal. He's a tank.
Yeah, he's literally tank.
Yeah.
And he's playing against Aphelios. I mean, like, this is maybe the game that actually he breaks the record in LCK, and it feels like all the time when we see Azir right now, it feels like, they decide to lose.
Yeah, it did feel like that. But we have to remember, this is aiming's Ezreal. He's very good. It'll be him and Deft, the only two that have won, if they're able to win. Remember, Gen.G still has a lead as Cyclone goes in towards the backline. Ruler has to flash immediately. Second Cyclone should be enough. The QSS was unbelievable, and that Tempered Fate was fantastic, but straight up not enough. The Wild Growth is going to completely counter Rascal, and as we talk about it, KT deliver. 9-6 is the kill score, and they'll run up mid and should be able to take an inhibitor.
I told you, when Gen.G is struggling, it's always Clid or Ruler is getting cut. It never stops.
And also, Smeb flanking on top of Ruler. Ruler's QSS was beautiful, by the way. Not enough. Tempered Fate, amazing. Not enough. And without Ruler and without Rascal, what does Gen.G do? Like, Clid's too squishy, Kellin's too squishy, BDD wants to be able to insect, but he's not going to be able to do anything because there's a damn Mountain Soul denying all of his damage as Clid just going to walk straight up to them, trying to deal with all of these minions. And they're so damn tanky.
Yeah, and it was always aiming who like leads the KT in the team fight, and it's really good to see Smeb popping off in the team fight as well after those rough time in the laning phase.
It's not about the laning phase, doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter anymore. It was really great synergy between old families, you know. Kuro.
Yeah, see, this is the Rock's power, that veterancy that we were talking about as bonO flashes and chomps on the 200 years. And that is just, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see just diving onto the Aphelios. That's what this comp can do that's better than what Gen.G can do. Plus KT can split. Like, there are a lot of different gears that this comp can run, and we shouldn't see straight up 5v5 if KT are going to play out this comp right. And so far, that's what they've been demonstrating.
Exactly. And yeah, Gen.G feels like they are completely lost. I mean, they got some great moment with the bar strategy on the Nashor side, but at this point...
257 armor.
Oh yeah, because of the GA.
257! What? And he's still got a level to go.
Yeah, and also Aphelios is not Last Whisper Lava, so I don't think he can ever win 1v1.
He can't. Yeah, aiming is a straight up damage dealer carry with armor penetration.
With tanking as well.
And he can tank. As there's a flash. TusiN gets out of it.
And he
holds onto his.
Well.
Yep. This is what we wanted to be talking about when we were discussing Ezreal. Is once again we're going to go forward. There's the Emperor's Divide. It's going to get Rascal knocked up though. The Gargoyle Stoneplate should keep him alive for a little bit longer, but aiming just straight up doesn't care. Arcane shifts to the side. Rascal is so close to dead and will be taken down. Aiming is a one-man army. It's the double kill. Can he chase down Clid is the question, who uses his ulti for defense and will make it under his Nexus turrets. BDD might be in trouble though as Ruler. This is the matchup, right? This should be Aphelios winning, but he's running for the hills in front of just aiming.
He tanks, but also attacks at the same time.
He defends, but also he attacks. He does all of the things as aiming's just going to run at Ruler. They do need the exhaust. There's the Arcane Shift, and the Mystic Shot will be enough. Is it going to be the unofficial Penta as the GA is procced, and TusiN is going to take a turn. Smeb's going to take down the Azir, and KT will crush